evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from. I am Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for the Connect with Comfort show. On this program, we aim to add value to people and on their business enterprise, as well as personal growth. Each show is organized to feature guests who are subject matter experts that helps to throw more insight on the topic of the day. I am glad you are able to join us today. You are most welcome. Today, our topic is ready, set, serve. I take that again. Ready, set, serve. The very phrase speaks to action, to preparation, and to purpose. It reminds us that true leadership and impact are not measured merely by title or positions, but by the willingness to serve with excellence, humility, and dedication. Ready, the first word of the three string words, calls for us to prepare ourselves, for us to sharpen our skills, strengthen our character, and align our vision with values that matters. While set challenges us to position ourselves to stand firm with courage, resilience, and focus. Ready, the third word on this topic is to take on the demands of the moment and serve. The heart of our topic is the ultimate call to action. To use our gifts, our resources, and influence in ways that uplift others, transform communities, and create lasting legacies. So as we explore this topic today, let us be reminded that service is not a one-time act, but a lifestyle. It is the bridge between potential and impact, between personal successes and collective progress. May today's discussion inspire us to not just be prepared, but to be positioned, and above all, to be committed to service. Once again, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us. I welcome you warmly. We'll go into this topic shortly after this time out. Please remain connected. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Being relevant in your field of occupation is proof that you are properly educated. When my parents and I were thinking about my university education, Owen University Iwo was our first choice. Owen University helps you to get the most of whatever course you're studying and also educates you on how to excel in a competitive labor market. From the day I arrived here, I knew when I would graduate, and my mind has been positively transformed since then, thanks to my able lecturers. My name is Salome. I am a medical student, a sanctuary keeper, and a violinist at Boma University. To the medical world, remember my name.
OON University for excellence and godliness.
You are welcome back. We have our guest in the house already, but before I bring him on, I would like to introduce him briefly to us. Our guest is no other person than Mr. Olaonipekun Kazeem. Mr. Olaonipekun is a business development professional and social entrepreneur. He serves as the Chief Executive Officer of Zofia Limited and is the founder of Focus Teens Foundation. Olaonipekun is deeply committed to child protection and family strengthening. He collaborates with prominent brands, professionals, and educational institutions to organize impactful programs for teenagers and youth. Notably, he consults for Lafarge African PLC, IHS Nigeria Limited, Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, to name but a few. He focuses on community engagement and corporate social responsibility initiatives. Olaonipekun's expertise extends to child protection. As a member of the prestigious Taiwo Akinlami Child Protection Faculty, he delivers training to diverse audiences, including prominent schools, local and international organizations such as SOS Children's Village International, the National Orientation Agency, UNICEF, and the Lagos State government. His mentorship also extends to the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency. His content stands out for its uniqueness, reaching teenagers and parents from diverse cultural backgrounds. Olaonipekun holds a bachelor degree from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and a certificate in human resource management from the prestigious Carrington Heritage Center for Professional Development in the United Kingdom. He is a certified child protection professional and has earned a certificate of achievement from the British Council's Future Learn program for Ideas for a Better World, leading change through policy making. Recently, he was nominated as a member of the Technical Working Committee for the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Please join me in making welcome our special guest for today, Mr. Olaonipekun Kazeem. You are most welcome. We welcome you to connect with Comfort Show, and we appreciate you.
Thank you very
for sparing your time with us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. Thank you very much for having me, ma. It's an absolute pleasure to be on the show again, for the first time. But we've been watching and then we've been paying attention over the last couple of weeks and months. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, ma. Thank you very much for what you do for the community and the world at large. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate you. So without much ado, we'll go straight into the business at hand by asking, what does it truly mean to be ready? Because our topic said, ready, set, serve. So what does it really mean to be ready and to serve mentally, emotionally, visually, and practically?
Thank you very much. I think to a large extent, when I look at the topic of discussion, as much as it looks so straightforward, it also has a lot of elements attached to it. To be ready, even if we take the normal race track, it means to properly position oneself to take an action. Are you ready to take an action? So I think it's a mental state for any individual to say that they are ready to do something. It means that mentally you set your eyes on a goal, you set your eyes on what the ultimate goal is, what the end point of the goal is. And then you simply ask yourself, as much as I know what it takes to get to the finish line or to get to the end of the line, am I ready to start? So being ready is a question that one asks themselves, that an individual, an organization, or anybody at all will ask themselves to say, are we ready to commit to the end point of this vision and this dream that we have seen right ahead of us? So to be ready to serve means that you have seen a course which you want to give a selfless act to. And a selfless act can be in so many ways. So you've seen a cause, you've seen the end point of the cause, you've seen a need, you've seen a purpose, which you as an individual see clearly, and you know that there's something you can do in that space in the best interest of humanity. And then you position yourself to say, am I ready? Am I ready to take on this journey? Am I ready to see it through to the end? Am I ready knowing that there are going to be bottlenecks, some that I can clearly see now, some that I can't clearly see, but for the ones that I can clearly see, what am I positioning to make sure that I solve those bottlenecks? For the ones that I can't clearly see, am I going to be dedicated? Am I going to be committed? Am I going to be resilient enough to ensure that that end goal, I would find a solution to those things that are going to be a bottleneck on the way to that finish line? So that's what it means to be ready. And that's what it means to serve, to see something, to find something that is of benefit to humanity. And you think deep down that I would like to make a change. I would like to be a part of this. I would like to contribute to this. And in that contribution, it could be emotional, it could be financial, it could be mental, it could be, there's so many ways. It could be a mere act of kindness steadily just to be able to achieve a purpose that is of benefit to humanity. And to look at this in the sense of mentally means that you are mentally ready. You see the clear picture, and mentally you say, I am ready to do this. To look at it emotionally means that regardless of everything that surrounds this goal that I am headed towards, there's some things that are going to be required of me emotionally. Am I able to deal with it emotionally? You require emotional intelligence depending on whatever it is that you want to, whatever area you intend to serve in, whatever purpose you choose to pursue. There are going to be some emotional aspect of it that you'd require emotional intelligence. You require your own personal emotions to be put into it to be able to achieve whatever goal that you set out to achieve. So spiritually means that you understand the context within which you're serving. Spiritually, you have your commitment to God or to your commitment to your personal beliefs to say that my beliefs, I'm holding it strongly to also help me achieve this ultimate goal. And I'm going to follow the books or follow the guidelines of my spiritual belief to be able to achieve this thing. So I think ultimately ready means being able to identify with oneself personally to say, I'm ready to do this. I want to do this. I know the outcome of this, and I have dedicated my time, my resources, my emotions to be ready to say that I'm ready to do this. And then service then becomes easy from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Awesome. You've actually answered the question roll into one, because trying to assess, or maybe how can individual assess their readiness, you actually uh, answer all that. Same goes for organization, even for our business. Simply mean
Absolutely.
readiness to serve, or we are set, means we are available. We are available, both
Absolutely.
presence of mind and body. Thank you very much for that wonderful explanation.
Absolutely.
So, what are the common barriers to readiness and how can they be overcome?
So readiness is usually a state of mind. Is a state of mind that you're ready. Is a state of mind. I think a lot of the common barriers that we can consider sometimes are going to be not having a clear vision as to how to execute readiness, not having a clear idea and a clear pathway to saying that this readiness, because it's one thing to be ready, it's another thing to identify how do I go about it. It's one thing to be ready, it's another thing to identify, do I have the skill set to then pursue this readiness? It's one thing to be ready, to also for one to also think, do I have the will, do I have the emotional capacity to deal with this readiness? Because to be ready is simply a state of mind. I am ready. I am ready. But more than being ready, we then start to look at other things. We then start to look at this thing I said I'm ready for. Am I going to jump into the readiness, or do I need skill set to take action? There's so many things that we can be ready to do. We can imagine us being ready to serve in the capacity of training children. And then we just jump into the space of children. And then, for instance, in that gathering, a child sort of begins to have some medical issues, not knowing that everybody has a role to play in different ways. A medical person has a role to play in the space of children. But because we are ready, we can jump into the space of trying to care for a child in a way that is not appropriate for the child. And that sort of put the person into trouble. So to be ready is very important, is a foundation. But more than being ready, there is, do we have the skill required after being ready? Do we have the emotional intelligence required after being ready? Do we have the support necessary after being ready? Do we have all the necessary guidance that is going to make readiness transform into a proper action? So these are the barriers that can stand in the way of readiness. And when one is not properly prepared for this readiness, it's very likely that you can get into a space of readiness and action and be thrown out of that space quickly and fast because you're only ready. There's this
Don't
thing that
have what it
says we
takes.
do. Yes, may we not allow our passion, in Yoruba language they call passion cane. May we not allow our passion chase us into passion, because the things that you can do when you're not ready, we've had situations and cases
Make it to
where
obtain passion.
a ready,
Okay.
yes, finding a convulsing child, and in their thinking, they believe putting spoon in the child's mouth is the solution to solving the child's problem, and then hurting the child, damaging the lips, damaging the upper part of the child's mouth. Then the parent comes, and then the question they're asking that person, is this your area of expertise for you to damage the mouth of my child like this? In all
Yes.
honesty, the person was truthful to themselves. They are passionate about children and they want to help. But unfortunately, their actions are completely wrong because they are not well skilled to take on the service for that which they have chosen to serve. So, in readiness, it's important that you have the skill, you have the attitude, and then you have the fortitude to make sure that you do that which you are supposed to do. These are the things that can stand in the way of readiness and service.
Thank you very much. So, the common barriers is knowing what to do when you say you are ready, be ready in all ramification, having the skill, having the equipment where equipment is concerned, resources where it concerns knowledge, and your own availability, which is the your state of mind and all that. So it has so many things. So those things that is required can easily stand as barriers because the absence of them, of those things that are required to make you fully ready, can serve as your barrier. So those are things to examine for you to be able to identify what could cause barriers for your readiness. So in what ways can preparation be more important than passion in effective service, not the passion? In what way can preparation be more important than the passion?
Well,
I like, I like that
preparation is
analogy.
always very necessary. Can you kindly take that again?
Yeah, I said in what
Okay, so
ways can
preparation is
preparation?
actually very key. And just yes, so like I said, preparation is very key. Just like I said initially in terms of readiness, preparation is key because preparation is like setting the table for something. There is a vision, there is an interest, there is an area of service that you have identified. The importance of preparation here is to say that let me set my tables right so that as I go on the journey of service, I will be doing that which is right. Do I need to get a license? Do I need to get permits? Do I need to get, even skill sets, to properly prepare for the positioning of service? In fact, sometimes in service, do I even need to go to school to be able to acquire the knowledge that allows me to be prepared, well prepared for that service that I want to go on? What do I need to do as a person in terms of preparation? There is physical appearance in terms of preparation. There is mental appearance in terms of preparation. There is knowledge to do with the person personally, and also a lot to do with the space within which you want to serve. So if the space within which you want to serve requires permits, requires some type of permit from the government or some type of approval for you to be able to do that, then preparation becomes that's part of the preparation that we need
Thank you very much. We have a contribution from one of our regular
to
audience on
avoid
this show.
passion.
Actually, we miss Dr. Asai for some time. You are welcome back, sir. Readiness he says, readiness involves putting together everything you require to pursue and achieve a set goal. This may include financial, material, and human resources. Quite rightly put. Thank you for that contribution, Dr. Asai. Yes, we must have that at the back of our mind to make sure that we dot all the i's and cross all the t's before we jump into the sale, so that we don't get passion at the end of the day, like Olaonipekun will say. Okay, so thank you for that contribution. How can leaders ensure their teams are adequately equipped and not just being enthusiastic? Can you hear me?
Please take that again. The network,
Okay. I
I can
said
hear you
how
clearly now.
can
Yes,
yeah, I
it's
said
perfect.
how can leaders ensure their teams are adequately equipped and not just being enthusiastic? You can see a lot of excitement here and there. That does not really mean your team are adequately ready or prepared. So how can leaders ensure their teams are adequately prepared?
So, while it's important for for people who want to serve to clearly identify their area of service and how they want to serve, I think leaders have a very huge role to play in supporting those who want to serve, or their mentees or their followers, by helping them to map out what I call a clear roadmap. They have a responsibility to clear goals. They have also a responsibility to, from time to time, observe their actions and give constructive criticism. That's actually something that is very important. And as a leader, we also help those who are serving to track progress so that you can help them see the importance of their service, the progress of their service, and the impact of their service. And I think these are the roles that leaders have to critically play in helping those who are serving, or their mentees, or those who are coming, or who are followers, to clearly map out, their strategy, their level of action, and then the progress, and then constructive criticism where necessary.
Okay. Thank you for that. How can one strike a balance between personal goals and the demands of service? You have your personal goal, then that's the demands of the service you are rendering. How do you strike a balance?
So I often say that service is a desire from the heart. And at a point when you follow through with service, that it then starts to negatively impact your personal growth, then you have set yourself up for dissatisfaction and failure. Because as much as service is important, personal growth is equally important. And people should be able to understand where service starts to affect your personal growth. Service sometimes can be suspended or reduced in the place of personal growth, such that where your personal growth has been filled to a certain level, then you can continue with service. But where service overrides personal growth, in a place where personal growth person creating the service itself, I can't, out of wanting to serve or wanting to do good, begin to fall short at my place of ensure the goodness of humanity in a place, put myself in a position where I'm going to be laid off work, and then I don't have income anymore. At that point, if anyone does that, they begin to push service to a place where they begin to think of service as a tool to enrich themselves. So one has to be able to identify that point where service stands on its own and it doesn't encroach on one's personal growth. Once it starts to encroach, it means there needs to be a boundary for that service, such that it doesn't encroach on one's personal life and one's personal growth.
Okay, that's quite incisive. But sometimes they do say, give of yourself or serve selflessly. Does that align with what you have just explained? So if you have to serve selflessly,
Absolutely. To
somehow,
serve self, yes, to serve to serve selflessly equally requires wisdom. To serve selflessly does not mean to serve to self-deprivation. So I need food to survive, and then I find someone else who needs the same amount of food that I have. The best that I can do is to say that I don't
share.
have to eat everything, and then I can give some to you. It's not that I will give all to you, then I starve to death, because my survival is required for me to help a little bit more. So when I know that there is some people are disserviced in a place, I should understand where I share so that I continue to remain alive and relevant. Then I'm able to also get more resources to support that service, rather than, take myself to starvation or complete deprivation. At that point, service, whether we like it or not, will become what, man? Passion.
Okay, thank you very much. So, in what ways can being set involve discipline, commitment, and resilience?
So I know somewhere in the beginning I've sort of spoken about this a little bit. In truth, more than service, anything that is worthwhile in this life, discipline is very important. Discipline is very important. Even the people who love the best of their jobs have days they wake up and they just don't feel like working. As people who love their job so much, there are days they wake up in the morning and they just don't feel like
They wish,
doing it, but they
they
have to
wish to go
do
back
it
to bed.
anyway because exactly, yes, but they have to do it anyway. Why do they do it anyway? Is the discipline. Because without discipline, we can never achieve results. Discipline means that without anybody watching, this is what I am going to continue to do because I know it is what I should do, not because I'm
Right.
trying to service anybody, because I'm trying for somebody to see me. It's what I know I should do, is what I should do, and the outcome is always going to be very great. And then I choose to do it. There will be days you feel like not doing it. Imagine someone who has committed to say, every month I am going to take 20% of my salary, for this course. There are going to be months you want to travel. There are going to be months somebody is going to show you a new shoe. There are going to be months somebody is going to show you a new bag. There are going to be months somebody is going to show you something. There are going to be months that there are going to be demands on you. And then in those moments, those are the moments where you either think, am I going to deprive these people who have service of this thing for 1 month just so I can have this? Or I am going to commit to it as I've always committed to it. That is required. Now, in some cases, things will fall apart. Things can fall apart. In fact, imagine someone who and then government agency says, this space that you're using to look after these people, this space that we are going to tear it down. Those kind of things can be very discouraging. System can come and say that which you used to do to support people, you can't do it anymore, and you gain fulfillment from it. So when things like this happen, it's the resilience to say, if this happens, then we will find a way to move them here. Can you give us some time? Let's move them to another place. Can I speak to A, B, C, D, and E to see what we can do to ensure that this continues to happen, because the benefits, the impact that we provide from doing this is beyond explanation. That's where the resilience comes in. So, in being set, discipline is key because a ton of things will show up to want to tell you today, don't show up. But you must show up in being, ready to serve. And when issues come up, that resilience itself has to show itself to say, I'm not giving up on this because I believe in it and I know what the end point should
The
be.
commitments as well.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much. How important,
Thank you.
with all that has been said, how important is mentorship and guidance in helping people position themselves rightly to serve? Because sometimes it's not everybody that says they are serving that are serving rightly.
Right. Mentorship is key in so many things. Even for those who want to serve, there's a vision to serve. But mentorship, in truth, mentorship is not always with older people. Mentorship is not even always with people who have become, very vast in knowledge. Mentorship is guidance. Mentorship is support. The truth is, as an older person, you can enter into a space, and the person who understands the space is a much younger person. The essence of mentorship is to help navigate that space within which you want to serve. Someone who can show you the ropes, someone who can show you the possible bottlenecks, someone who, when you hit a bottleneck or when you hit challenges, you can tell what the challenge is really well, that the experience will count for something in finding a way forward. So mentorship is very key and it's very important, because without mentorship, it means that you are the only one directing the affairs of your service. And as you're directing the affairs, sometimes you might not even know when to turn left or when to turn right. You might not know who to share progress with or challenges with. It means you just keep going. And that can sometimes be a bit frustrating. The reason why we have people ahead of us is to be able to share things with them, share ideas with them, and then they can help us navigate challenging areas. In fact, mentorship is great for providing applause. Mentorship is great for providing encouragement. Mentorship is great for inspiration. Mentorship is great to say that I see what you're doing and it's great. You're making progress. Keep moving. That's part of mentorship. So in every space that anybody is serving, if you do not have people who you look up to or who are around to help navigate challenging times, good times, sometimes one can often begin to burn out, to think, am I even making progress? So these are part of the roles that mentorship plays. It gives direction, it gives support, it gives encouragement, it gives inspiration, and it just shows up to say, keep moving, you're doing the right thing. And where there is support, we provide support.
Thank you. We have another contribution from Dr. Asaying, saying service most times is a product of success from a personal endeavor and willingness to help humanity. That is correct, because it's born out of that desire to impact positively to others, to give back, and also to, I mean, like the mentorship we are talking about, it's like giving back, because if you are guiding others, number one, it helps them to avoid the pitfalls that maybe otherwise they would have gotten
Absolutely.
into and delay their journey or make encumber their journey, and then that could even be discouraging. But with guidance, they are able to have a smooth sailing journey and not have that one of those barriers that can deter their progress. So you are quite right, Dr. Saying. We thank you for that contribution. So we must be willing to help humanity
Permit me,
if we say we want to serve. Yeah, go ahead.
permit me to add to what Dr. Asenyi also said. He used a particular word there. He said service, and he used the word most times,
Yeah,
which then means that there are some times that
not
some
all the
people have
time.
not even, they are not even a product of any particular success. They just see a niche. They just have a feel of, no, this shouldn't be like this, and I would like to join and support. That's why I use the word most times, because not all the time. There are times that some people have a level of success. I have a 14-year-old that is already in an act of service. Not because they've succeeded in that field, but because they
Yeah,
find the
the
field,
desire.
where they can help and support other people. Yes, the desire, to with the most, to willingness to help
To,
humanity,
to
and that's
help.
the key word there.
Yes,
Helping
yes,
humanity.
yes. Thank you very much. Now, in that wise, we can ask what distinguishes genuine service from self-serving activities that is masquerading as service.
Say again, man.
Okay, I said, flowing from what we just said, we
Hello.
can then ask this question, that what distinguishes genuine service from self-serving activities? Sometimes some self-serving activities is masqueraded as service to other people, but all it is
Service.
just serving your own self-interest. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. There are plenty. There are plenty of activities that masquerade as service, and that's why I said at a point in time to say that people most of the time who do not pay attention to their own personal growth and their own personal development and allow service to encroach on their personal life, their personal growth, and their personal development such that they lose out on it. Their survival instinct will kick in for some people in such a way that they then begin to compromise service. They then begin to think of service as a survival means. So those are the places where service masquerades. Some people's activities that's supposed to be service is not service, it's just masquerading itself as service. Genuine service truly has a way of clearly identifying the benefit to humanity. Now, that's not to say that people cannot decide to set up a service structure which equally pays them, because there are services
Yes.
that you can want to provide also requires your full-time engagement. Now, that's a structured service. That's why we have things like social enterprise. I'm doing something for the society, but at the same time, I'm also finding a way to also be remunerated for them that I am because if somebody chooses an act of service completely as a lifestyle and creates a structure around it, we don't expect him to be having sleepless nights, to be traveling to places without the process itself funding it. They have families, they have a home, they have a number of things. There will then be a structure. Now, that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about those ones who, from the point they thought about service, the first thing that came to their mind is, this is money. We need to do this to make money. It means such people will constantly be looking at the service and be looking at the loopholes just for them to enrich themselves. And in truth, how service has its goodness, divine goodness, as long as that's a mindset, then there's no divine goodness that is coming from that one. Because my own holy book says that
you're profiting already.
your judge, your exactly is from even the thought of your mind alone. So your intentions alone are being rewarded. So if the intention is wrong, then everything else is wrong, because that person knows within themselves every time they sit down in their own moment, they know they're lying to themselves. And everything they say out there is untrue. And it's just a matter of time. These things will show.
Will
show.
So how can service be impactful both to the one serving and the one being served?
Well, for it to be impactful, first of all, to the one that is serving, will mean that the person has clearly identified their area of service, they have committed to it, and then they see the growth, they see the development, they see the purpose, and the impact of their service. That impact that is being seen comes with what we call fulfillment. There's a fulfillment that comes to one who serves diligently and with all commitment, and sees the result of that service that they've put into. The fulfillment that comes with that, is something that money can buy. So you see it and then you see the result. Now, for that person who is being served, there's that more than the fulfillment for the person who is being served. They are able to see the impact of service in the turnaround of actions of this person serving. They see the turnaround, they see the possible impact, the person, the whatever it is the person is bringing, the innovations, the progress, the development, the increase in impact that the person serving is bringing is visible for them to see that before this person, this was where we were. With this person, this is the amount of growth we have achieved. And that visibility brings about growth for the person that is being served. And when that person is also able to acknowledge it and let the person know that I see your impact, this is what we have done, this is what we have, this is the progress we have made, these are the things that you have done to help us achieve that progress. And that's a win-win situation. And it's not a one-sided situation. So it means that the person serving brings in value that is visible, that gives them fulfillment. And also the turnaround in the impact is also seen by the person who is being served. And then more than fulfillment, there's also encouragement and also a drive to do more.
Thank you very much. I wish we can go on and on, but before we round up, I would like to ask this question for the benefit of our participants or the online audience. What practical steps can each of our audience today take after this session to embody ready, set, serve, as has been described on this show?
First, I think I'll put it in two different places. First is for those people who are on the show who haven't been able to identify or who are not serving in any capacity. I would say it's time to look around. There's something required in your immediate community. There's something required in your neighborhood. There's something required in your institution. There's something required around the places that you either work or live, or you spend a lot of time. Look around and see what are the things that you can do to improve the lives of the people there. I often say that if anybody is doing any job or doing anything and you cannot directly see the impact of what you're doing to humanity, it means that you haven't started doing anything at all. So for those who do not have anything they're doing, they're not serving in any capacity, first things first is it's time to begin to look inward and then look around. Now, when you find that, I bring you to the category of those who have identified something. Now you have identified it. It then becomes important to set your mind to ask yourself that, am I ready to start? Once you can get to the point of readiness, then the next question is, what are the impacts that are achievable if I set out to do these things? Now we then go to, what are the steps? What are the things that I need to know? What are the skills that I need to have? Who are the people that I need to speak with to help me achieve this desired goal and this desired development and this desired service within my neighborhood, within my home, within my my place of worship, within my school, within my place of work, wherever it is that you think you might want to create this service. Look at the long-term goal of what you want to do. Are there skills you need to get? Are there people you need to speak with? Are there permits you need to get? Ask all of these questions. After finding out, the next thing is what? Action. And in that action, you must set your mind from this beginning to say that more than the action, I will be committed. I will be dedicated. I know issues will pop up, but when they pop up, I will find the solution because I can clearly see the impact of my service on the short term, mid-term, and on the long run. I think once you have all of this set in mind, I think they can begin to take actions.
Thank you very, very much. Fantastic conclusion on this point. I appreciate you highly. While we were on, we have some of our regulars, some that are featured already through contribution, that joined us. We have Taiwo Ojo streaming from Abuja. We have Mr. Femi Jaisimi streaming from Lagos. We have Dr. Aseyin, of course, who has been a contributor on this show and other shows. And Sister Wendy Garuba Ayeni also joined us in the course of this conversation. And a whole lot of others that have not been able to pick their name. I appreciate you all. But join me in appreciating our special guest of today. He has really done wonderfully well. You have shared a great insight into this topic. In fact, there are still other dimensions that we could have gone on and on if time permits, but obviously the time is something that is very scarce. Thank you very much for sparing your time for this sharing
Thank
of
you very much.
experience. We appreciate you highly. We hope next time when we come calling on you, you will not consider us at Oliver Twist. You will oblige us so that we can continue to
Absolutely.
serve our community. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much. God bless you. I will just
No,
quickly
not
round
a
up.
problem, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We just quickly round up as we have come to close of today's reflection on the topic ready, set, serve. I believe we have been reminded that service is not a passive act, but a conscious choice. Being ready, as we have been told by our guests, means preparing yourselves, sharpening your skills, building your character, and opening our hearts to possibilities. Being set means positioning ourselves with courage, determination, and discipline, as well as being ready to serve means going beyond self interest to add value to others, our community, and our nation. Let us therefore leave this gathering today not just inspired but committed to be intentional in how we prepare, deliberate in how we position, and purposeful in how we give of ourselves. For true greatness is not in what we gather, but in what we give, not in what we achieve for ourselves, but in what we contribute to others. Together, let us build a future defined by impact, compassion, and responsibility. Once again, I would like to thank all those that have joined us and our special guest once again. He has really done us proud today. And I hope all of you have gained one or two ideas that you will use in your personal growth and your business. I hope you have all enjoyed today's episode. If so, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. Once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like and share our videos. Stay updated with information about our upcoming events and programs on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook account at Comfort Eyitayo. Till I come your way again, let us embody the spirit of service, ready, set, and be ever willing to make a difference. May God bless us all as we do that. Thank you. God bless.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Olaonipekun. We've come to the end of the show.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, ma. All right, ma. Have a
Media,
beautiful day, ma.
thank you. You're just waiting for media to sign us out. close the show now.